Hey there friends, Andrea from Barn and Brush. Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to show you how to put together this porch leaner. On my website you can get the pieces to do this here. The only thing that won't be included is the actual board. So first things first, I apologize for my background. We're moving, so everything is a mess. First thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and go to the hardware store or any place that sells pine boards and go and get a 1x, let me see. So this would be a 1x10. Now, 1x10s are not going to be an actual 10 inches across. They are 9¼ inches wide. However, I have these measured for that, so they will fit. So whenever you go to the store, you want to ask them for a 1x10 by 4 foot, or let me see how many inches that is. I typically go and I get so 48, 4 foot. 48 inches. I typically ask for a 1x10 by 8, and then I just cut it in half. So if you don't want to have to do any cutting, I'll go and ask for a 1x10 by 4. However, I don't know if they will actually have 4 foot ones. You'll just have to check with your Lowe's, Home Depot, maybe Menards. I don't know. Here we only have a Lowe's, and then we have like a local Leather Lumber. So you can check. So what you're going to do is make sure that you sand this board. And again, this board is going to be the extra thing that you're going to have to do. I couldn't do these because it is just going to be way too much to ship. So 1x10 by 4, sand it down with a palm sander or just a regular sander. It's going to take you a lot longer. And then stain it or paint it however you want to do it. This is your project. You can do it however you want to. So when you get into your project, you are going to see, and I highly advise you to paint all of these items first before you get them, put them on the board. So let's pull you down here. Okay, so you're going to have these two pieces here. So the very first piece, after you paint, you're going to go ahead and you're going to put it onto the board. And you can go ahead and glue this with like a stick fast glue, which is in my Amazon storefront, and I have it linked in the description. Or you can just use wood glue. I would highly advise using something more than wood glue, but any type of like a tight bond, or you can even do like a wood glue and something else. So we're going to go ahead and put the glue on the back of this and then line this up. You're going to line the foot up with the bottom and then the tail across the side here. So we're going to make sure, and I'm not going to do this because I am going to, this is my piece here. So I'm just doing it on the other side here. So we're not going to actually glue anything down, but for yours, we definitely want to do that. So make sure that that is glued down. And then you're going to take this piece here. And you are going to line it up with this here. And it should go right into the corner of the tail. And that there will also line up with the ear will line up with the side right here. This may not be flush, but that's okay because it's going to get covered. You want to make sure that this part here is actually flush. So all of this here is flush. You're going to go ahead and glue that down. So you will have all of this glued. And also when you're painting, you really don't have to paint this whole entire thing here because all of this is going to be covered, or the majority of this is covered. So you could probably paint halfway up here and then actually paint to about right here, just to save you on paint and time. But like I said, that is completely up to you, however you want to do it. I've done paint parties where people have painted the entire thing before, and that's okay. Okay, so once this is completely glued down and dried, you're going to go ahead and then start building. So we are going to go ahead and align these arms here up with this piece right here. So you put glue onto the back. Make sure that this is already all painted and designed. And then we're just going to go ahead and make sure that it is lined up flush with this here and then this here. Now this will go up and into the face and into the whiskers. That is exactly how it is supposed to be designed. So we're going to go ahead, and you'll see a little bit of the tail hanging out right there. You're going to go ahead, glue that down. Once that is glued down, you will then choose to do the next step. I highly suggest doing the flower. What you can do is make sure that the flower is completely painted, and then this little piece right here goes on to the flower here and makes it like a 3D element. I'm just going to set this aside since we are not gluing it on or painting it. Okay. So now what you will do is you'll slide this under, because you will see that this here only goes so far, and this will hang over it. That is to allow the flower to come out. So once this is glued down, you obviously won't be able to lift it up. So you'll just go ahead and slide the flower underneath. You can put it down like this. You can have it like this. You can even have it as far up as there. Now, just take a note that depending on where you have it, it may come out and be overhung or have an overhang over there. If you want to do that, that's fine, but just be aware that it can actually break off. If it's on your porch and it falls down, it may snap off of there. So I highly suggest that you will put it like close to up here or down there, or even maybe something like this here, so that it is just flush against the side of the pine board. So once that is like that, you will then go ahead and put on the arm. The arm piece is like this here. You will want the bigger part of almost kind of like a wider sleeve versus like the shoulder type thing. So it will go on, and this is mirror imaged, so it'll probably be a little different for you. But this here will go towards you. You're going to go ahead and put that right there, right beside it's. You'll see the little out portions there. Make sure that that is flush up against all of that, and then glue that down. So now we have the arm. The next thing we'll do is you will go ahead and paint that portion, and then the button will go on to that. You can put this here, you can put this there, you don't even have to put it on there, you can put it up on here. It is completely up to you, however you want to put it. I put mine up there. You can even leave this off and have this, well, I guess it can't be a boy because it's wearing a dress, but you don't have to put it on there at all. You can, put it down onto the dress there. It's completely up to you. So we'll leave that there. And then at the top part, we're going to go ahead and do the flower. And again, you want to put it somewhere else, you'd want to eliminate it. That's completely up to you, however you want to do it. So we'll put that up there, and then make sure that the button is glued down onto that. And then the last pieces that we'll need is the wording. So you want to go ahead and paint that, and then glue them down there. And that is it. That is how you put together this porch leaner. And then let me show you at the very end here, on mine, let me just scooch all of these pieces out of the way and I will show you. I want to show you about this piece here. Now, on mine, for this banner right here that goes across, I had used a piece of ribbon. Now, mine does look 3D because the original design had a piece of board right there. However, it just did not go the whole way across, so I eliminated that in the final design. What I was going to do was put a big poofy cottontail. You can make that out of yarn and do like a poof with that. That would look super duper cute right there. But you can go ahead and just paint this, or you can add a piece of fabric, or you can add a piece of ribbon across there. So then whenever you put it down, then you can just put the poofy tail, or you can just leave it as is, because on the other side, it's not really, you're not really going to see a whole lot. All right. And that is everything. That is all you need to do for that. Yeah. So if you have any questions, please send me an email at barnandbrushco@gmail.com, or you can find me on my Facebook. I have everything linked below. Thank you so much. And please consider following us on Facebook. Thank you so much.